All right. And so everyone's able to see the school breakfast challenge presentation. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you everyone who's able to join. If you want to just take a second and put your name and title in the chat and maybe what school or organization you're with, that'd be great. I know most of you, but if you don't know me, my name is Karyn Rice. I'm the Child Nutrition Manager at New Hampshire Hunger Solutions. And I am excited to be presenting the last webinar in the School Breakfast Challenge series. This one is titled School Breakfast Week Highlights. So we are recording today's webinar, but we should keep, it should be a little under 30 minutes and then some time at the end for questions and comments. So let's get started. So just an overview of what we'll be talking about today are the highlights for the National School Breakfast Week. We'll talk a little bit about some increase in participation that we've seen. And we'll talk a little bit about the School Breakfast Challenge for next year. So just to talk a little bit about the School Breakfast Challenge in general, which was the support we had through the sponsors. We did partner with UNH Extension in New England Dairy to support the schools. So in addition to providing technical support and being a boots on the ground person, we were able to provide other incentives this year to help promote the breakfast program at schools. A lot of these great incentives we were able to give out during School Breakfast Week, which you'll see on the next couple slides. But for example, UNH Extension, they provided snack bags, fun eyeglasses, scratch cards, stickers, activity books, and bookmarks for students. New Hampshire Hunger Solutions, we created a School Breakfast Week toolkit to help schools plan for the week. We provided stickers, crayons, coloring booklets, word searches, mazes, posters, water bottles, and we created breakfast bulletin boards at the schools. And New England Dairy provided activity books, as well as stickers, insulated sandwich bags, pencils, and cow keychains, which were a big hit. But yeah, so you'll see some of these throughout the pictures and then next few slides. So the theme this year for School Breakfast Week was Surfs Up, as you could probably tell from some of the decorations on the slides. And you'll see also throughout pictures of the celebration too. We worked with any school really that was interested in partnering for the celebration. A couple schools were participating with the challenge while others kind of partnered for the challenge for this specific event. So in total, we worked with 7 schools, and each school, they celebrated School Breakfast Week a little bit differently, and used different methods to promote breakfast and to try and get different ways to increase participation, which we'll talk about. So the first school I'd like to talk about is Granite Middle School, which is in Conway. At this school, it was 7th and 8th graders, and we promoted the breakfast taste testing during lunch to expose all of the children to the menu, the breakfast menu. The items that were highlighted were chocolate chip muffin tops, powdered sugar and cinnamon donut holes, as well as blueberry and strawberry parfaits, which you can see in the bottom right corner. So we encouraged students to try something new that they hadn't tried before, and then they got to vote on whether or not they liked it, whether or not they liked their breakfast sample, and whether or not they were more likely to try school breakfast. And so the food service director saw an increase of students from the week prior to school breakfast week. So the week prior, she had 186 students participating in breakfast. And then after school breakfast week and the promotions done at the school through morning announcements, as well as the taste testing, she saw an increase to 202 students participating, which is an 8.6 increase. Which is great. It just shows, that talking about school breakfast and sharing what's on the menu and getting students involved really does help increase participation. And so in the pictures, you can see what the different voting stations look like, with most students really liking the samples, and most students voting yes, that they would eat breakfast again after trying today's breakfast sample. And so I also just wanted to mention something really great about Conway at Kennett Middle School that they decided to do this year throughout the school breakfast challenge, is that they were working with one of the health science teachers, and she really wanted to incorporate a lesson in her curriculum for each student to create a breakfast meal that meets the guidelines, the USDA guidelines for breakfast. And then the students had a cooking competition, and the winning groups had their meal featured on the breakfast menu. And so this has just been a great example of how to get, an older group of students involved and excited about breakfast. And it also teaches them about, how to read nutrition labels. And it just is a great way to talk about the importance of eating this. So I just wanted to highlight that. And they've overall seen a very large increase of participation compared to last year's breakfast participation. And so in Somersworth, we worked with 3 schools, 2 elementary and 1 high school. For this district, we helped pass out smoothie samples, strawberry mango flavored, during the lunch to reach most students. At Maplewood, this item is already featured on the menu, and they're a huge hit. The school nurse, who is here today, she's been working closely with us for the school breakfast challenge, and she stated that, since doing the tastings, the line for breakfast on the smoothie days is the longest day compared to some of the other days. And so at Maplewood, prior to school breakfast week, 80 students typically participated in school breakfast in that week. And then after school breakfast week, it was 90 students. So we saw a 12.5% increase in participation after doing the smoothie tastings. And so at the other schools, we used the smoothie samples in a little bit of a different way. It was more of a way to kind of gather some feedback for the food service director, because the smoothies aren't usually an item on the menu, but she really wanted to see if students would like it if she did add it to the menu. So we did this similar, where we offered the taste testings during lunch. And it was during lunch at the elementary school and then during a break at the high school. And we did a similar voting style where the children got to vote on whether or not they liked it or not. And the feedback was that they really, really loved the smoothies, but the strawberry in more particular than the mango. So a lot of the no's we received were the students that tried the mango flavor. And then so you'll see I dressed up as a banana at some of the schools and passed out some of the samples. You'll see examples of some of the activities that were given out from New England Dairy and some of their stickers, and then a bulletin board that we created, and that is at Idlehurst Elementary School. And so at Dr. Crisp in Nashua, we sampled breakfast items in the morning. So we worked with the principal and the food service director to coordinate so that all students went to the cafeteria to get sample breakfast before heading to class that morning. So their turnout was really great. They had to hold the first bell because there were so many students that were coming through to the breakfast line to sample the items. Some of the menu items that were featured were rainbow bagels, cinnamon buns, muffins, and a few others. And so the way it worked is that students lined up, they would grab their breakfast sample and then head down the line to fill snack bags that were donated from UNH Extension. And they got to pick out some prizes to put in their bag with them. So that's where you'll see some of the bookmarks, some stickers, and water bottles from New Hampshire Hunger Solutions. And so at Grinnell Elementary School in Derry, the whole food service staff was super excited about the event. They really got involved. It was awesome. They decorated the entire cafeteria with a luau theme, and we're listening to Beach Boy music all day. They had a beautiful, you could see in the the right corner, they had a really great balloon arch where students could take pictures and use props. And it was a great way. They ended up taking pictures of each grade in front of the arch. So it was really a fun day and really the food service staff had a lot of fun with it. So at Grinnell Elementary, it's kindergarten through fifth grade, and we passed out breakfast samples during lunch. Again, students were seated, and we went around the tables with trays and encouraged students to try something new. We felt like that was kind of one of the best methods is to have the students seated because at a lot of schools, they only have maybe 20 minutes to eat their lunch. So rather than them kind of lining up to have enough time to eat, we just had them sit down, start eating their lunch, and we walked around with the trays. So items that were featured, you can see in some of the pictures were the benefit bars, and there was oatmeal, chocolate chip, and chocolate. And then there was the cinnamonies as another example. They also had bagels, muffins, and a few other samples as well. And then we also had tables set up with goodies so that once the students were done, they could line up and then grab a couple goodies on the way out. And so this is just Northfield at Southwick Elementary School. We passed out fun activities and stickers to students who were participating in breakfast that day. And all of the students got to take a picture with the banana. So the students had a lot of fun with that. They really loved the banana costume. And so we also created a fun bulletin board that included a comic book story along the bottom, which talked about some of the health benefits of eating breakfast. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a great event for all the students and all the staff that helped coordinate it. So yeah, I just wanted to say, thank you to all the schools that were able to partner with us to have such a successful day and all of the staff that had kind of helped pull it together for such a great day. I did also just wanted to share some of the other great work we've been able to do this year for the School Breakfast Challenge. We had heard mainly from school staff that they were feeling a disconnect between, well, a disconnect with parents and the breakfast program. Um, and they really wanted to focus on parent education and awareness of the school program. So we helped create content for schools to promote education on common misconceptions, such things as like education on why breakfast is nutritious, information about funding and how it gets distributed, and encouraging parents to continue to apply for the free and reduced meals. So, along with that education, we were able to create social media content, letters to parents that would go home with parents, school meal signage, where they're being used at front entrances of schools or outside near drop off lines. We made a great success with doing a lot of breakfast bulletins that got students excited and created morning announcements for schools to use, as well as action plans for the breakfast team at the schools to kind of plan out what they wanted to work on for that year. And so the school breakfast challenge, the last day this year is going to be May 31st. So we'll be gathering school meal data from the schools to really look and see at the increases of participations from last year and compare it to this year. The school with the highest increase will be able to, they'll receive a cash prize to purchase kitchen equipment, and we'll be celebrating with the top 3 schools with the highest participation. And so we will be doing the school breakfast challenge for next year as well. So if anybody's interested, please reach out. You can, my email's on the next page, but if you just want to learn more or you want to sign up for next year, please contact me. And so that concludes the final webinar for the school breakfast series. If there's any questions or comments, please feel free to come off mute or put your question in the chat.
I have a comment.
Awesome.
When we did our breakfast challenge at Maplewood, it was super popular. The kids really enjoyed it. The smoothies have been so huge. So the numbers on the slide were 80 breakfast up to 90 breakfasts, which is, I think, an average. But on smoothie day, they sell out of smoothies, and we will go up to 120 breakfasts on smoothie day. In fact, we have to announce it so that the teachers will wait to do their attendance, because so many kids are getting smoothies that it takes them a little longer to get to class. So the smoothies have been a really big game changer for us. The kids really love them, and I would like to use our smoothie numbers for our numbers so that we win the challenge. But maybe they, just to say, the smoothies are huge, and if you haven't tried the smoothies at your school, it'll be a real game changer.
Awesome. Thank you, Jenna, for sharing that. I think that that's great information to just share, with how the excitement went around the smoothies, and, more students, if you're not doing the smoothies, can apply for the smoothie grant through New England Dairy to get a smoothie equipment so that they can offer it at their school too. Are there any other questions or comments? All right. Well, thank you for joining today. And also just, all the great work that's been going on, everyone who is able to help coordinate with all the amazing celebrations at the schools. My email is right there, krice@New Hampshire Hunger Solutions. If you do have any questions or want more information on the School Breakfast Challenge, as well as the rest of the child nutrition team at New Hampshire Hunger Solutions. So please reach out with any questions. And this webinar is recorded, so I will be sending this out with a follow-up email. And so thank you for joining today. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.